Just gotta. Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Shane. Uh, Caught me in the middle of trying to set some things up. Let me just set this to the side. Welcome to another review by me, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Netflix anime Komi Can't Communicate. So, before I begin, please remember to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share the video so others can see what a great time we're having, what great channel this is, and do not forget to hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. You're probably asking yourself, what the heck is this right here? You probably recognize this face right here. This is Shoko Komi. What is Komi Can't Communicate? Now, I got some notes here. And you guys are probably... Now, if you paid attention to my update video, I mentioned this anime. This is the description, or should I say the genre that is placed into is coming of age, romantic comedy, and slice of life. I have not watched a slice of life anime in a long time. I don't even remember the last time I've actually read a slice of life manga. Was it Fruits Basket? It might have been Fruits Basket. Oh man, it's been a while. But Komi Can't Communicate is about this young lady right here. This is Shoko Komi, which you gotta remember that in Japanese society, most of the time they're referring to you by your family name, your last name. So it took me a minute to realize, oh, her name's not Komi and his name is not Tadano. Those are their last names, especially when her mom shows up. The premise is this beautiful young lady is seen as the untouchable, the cold ice queen who is the Madonna of Itan. It's Itan Private High School. And this picture here says a lot, and I'll get to it in 1 second. And she sits next to this guy. His name's Hito Tadano. He's a dude that just doesn't want to make a lot of waves in high school. This is their first year. Japan, they have 3 years. And he ends up sitting next to the most beautiful girl in the school, right? Which gets him a lot of heat from everybody because everyone, except for one person, maybe two people, go gaga over Komi. She was even called the class god, not class president, which fell onto Tadano. She's the class god. Now, everyone, for whatever reason or another, is so oblivious that she has bad social anxiety. She has a hard time speaking. She can only write things down. And that's actually how she introduced herself. When it came her time, she rushed up to the board, and it's comical and it's funny how fast she moves. And she just writes her whole name down. Everybody's like, "Oh, she's so cool." Even the teacher and everyone's just like, "She's amazing." But Tadano, he's able to realize that she has social anxiety because in his very first episode, when he accidentally was knocked out, or purposely knocked out, I don't know, but he was knocked out. He heard her speaking when everybody else left for gym, and she says, "Why can't I just talk to people?" And he heard this while he was waking up, and you could kind of see that she stayed there to make sure he was okay before she was about to rush out. He says, "You have a problem talking to people," and the wonderful premise of the show technically gets his name because he was coming up with a name for their mission, because Komi is somewhat childish because she's never had friends. And she writes all on the chalkboard. She explains to him that she's never been able to talk to people. She wants to just say, "Hi, how are you doing? How's the weather? How is everything?" And she can't. Now, after she pours her heart onto this board, Tadano, he starts writing. And he is an interesting character as a main male character because he is so perceptive of other people and what their feelings are that he breaks the fourth wall. People have thought bubbles and he can see the thought bubbles, but he is so dense when it comes to the feelings that he has for her and that she displays for him, which I'll get to in a minute. I had to write down the characters' names on here. I just had to find a list because I'm going to go through each character, and I'm not going to go through each episode. It's 12 episodes, but that beautiful first episode, which doesn't start with an intro. As a matter of fact, it's shown as a pixel game when they're going back and forth. And the format for the show is pretty good. It's when they have the main episode has the title, so the first thing you're going to see is that, but it is comprised of 3 to 4 different, I'll call them chapters, because of the way that the show is displayed like a manga. Like you see manga, you see the Japanese text and the words and the thought bubbles. Pardon me. They even break through manga panels from time to time. The show's super. It's almost a parody unto itself that is so aware. I I typically, when watching shows like this, I typically um, like to just type up notes while I'm watching. Even when I'm, back before I started doing the whole reviewing thing, a lot of times I would rewind because I prefer to watch my anime with subs. I feel like I'm getting everything that the show wants me to get, what the creator wants me to get, what the author wants me to get, what they're trying to give to me. And subtitles are usually the best thing for me. And I would suggest to watch this in subtitles, although they have, if English is not your first language, they have a ton of subtitles for this show. Shown on TV Tokyo, mind you. Um, I went on a bit of a tangent there, but the show is so good, and that first episode hooked me because I was not trepidatious, but I was just a little bit cautious, and just that whole episode focused on him reaching out to her, and there's so much symbolism in the show as well. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's a nice show, but it's nothing." No, there's some symbolism in there because the very first moment of the episode, she wants to reach out and talk to a cat. And a lot of times when she's excited or wants to do something, she springs up cat ears. Comedically, she doesn't actually have cat ears, but she gets cat ears because she's very much like a black cat, elusive. But her dream, and a little girl said this in the very beginning. She said she wants to have 100 friends, which he kind of laughs at, but he's like, no, 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 no. I get it. I tell you what, I'll be your first friend, and I'm gonna help you get the other 99. And that's where this bond. I can't just call it a friendship. This is where the bond begins. And what I love a show, because this is how I gush over Jabba's reincarnation, Mushiko Tensei. They went into the opening, which is called Cinderella by Cinder Girl. Um, and you gotta, I promise in the description below, I will give you the intro song because Netflix put it up, and I'll give you the full song that someone translated. The lyrics are so perfect because in the intro for this song, when they're singing, some of the characters move with the words, and her reflection says some of the words, as well as Tadano kind of reaching out to her because she feels lonely. Everyone thinks, well, she's just as cold. She's so cool and she's so cold. We can't approach her. She's been lonely, and he is bringing her off of that island of loneliness. Now, I've given you the premise. I love the premise. I've given you the setting. The setting is spring. It's this private high school, and it's just the community. I have no clue where they are, but when they go on, when they have some weekends, when they go on summer vacation, which for them is like a month, you get to see not just the high school, but you see everything around it. I love that. The feel and atmosphere. I told you about the comic slash manga feel of it. It's great. Many episodes. I love the format of it. Because was it Penny and Stocking? Their shows are 15-minute episodes. I enjoy stuff like that. You're giving me more as opposed to just this one long episode that focus on one plot. It's like, hey, they not necessarily solve things, but they go through things at such a nice pace. When these 24-minute episodes are over, it's like, wow. I feel like I gotten a lot from my time. I don't feel like I wasted my time. And I was able to watch this whole thing within 3 different nights. Like I did it kind of how I did Shaman King. 5 episodes, 5 episodes. Well, actually, five, five. No, I think I did 5, 4, and then I watched the last three back to back because those last three fall right into one another, which is the was it not just the school? It's the last two of the school festivals, part one and part two. The one before that is the sports festival when they come off of summer break. So all of that I love. All of that gets setting 5 out of 5, feel 5 out of 5, and the music I already told you about that. That's a 5 out of 5 for me. Let's talk about Shoko Komi. Shoko Komi, extreme social anxiety, writes everything down. Her relationship with each of these characters is amazing. And in particular, I'm gonna jump to my least favorite character because Rin Yamai, which I love the fact her name, she's a yandere character who's all over. She wants Komi just for herself and actually kidnaps Tadano. And I love that the show doesn't just play that up for comedic relief because once Najima, and I'll get to him or him, her, them, because Najima goes by all of it. When she invites Najima and Komi to her home, and threw Tadano in the closet, and he screamed, and they got him out. It's Komi has to tell her, "Yo, you don't pick who my friends are. I pick who my friends are." And to the fact that she cares a lot about her friendship with Hito, she was willing to not be friends with him because what if something else happens like that? I don't want you hurt because you're friends with me. He's like, hey, I get to pick my friends. He says, and one of the problems I have with him, and maybe this is me seeing some of myself in this stupid character, he'll say the right thing and then go, oh man, you know what? I said too much because no one treats him with respect but her and Najima too. Which so her relationship with Yamai is kind of I just don't like Yamai just because I don't like Yandere characters are whatever. The whole I like you so much I'm gonna kill everybody around you. Because after that episode when she apologizes half-heartedly, she's always butting into moments, and I find myself rolling my eyes. It's not as bad as that first introduction, but I find myself rolling my eyes at this character, and pardon me, and they tolerate her and they take her. Now apparently, because this series, it's not a light novel. It was an independent novel or independent manga series. Komi Cant has been out since what was this May 18, 2016. They've had 24 volumes by the author Tomohito Oda. I have no clue what this individual's gender is, but this is a young person. I believe you get her birth or their birthday online. I feel like Tomohito feels like a young woman's name, but this is a young 31 year old doing great, doing interesting manga. I say interesting manga. I feel that is great because I might have a bit of a bias because I enjoy this show so much, but doing great manga, interesting manga. Just got to make sure the episodes don't play. Um, and where was I at? With Shoko Komi, it's the relationships that are really good. Her relationship with Hito, she never had a cell phone. Mind you, this is in a modern day and age where people have smartphones. She has a flip phone, and she wants his name to be the first name in there. She's also a modest girl because when they do the maid cafe for the school festival to see who's gonna, they all have to come up with a thing and then they get ranked to win. She gets the long maid outfit. She did not want to wear that short outfit, which they end up forcing Tadano in, but to much comic relief because his sister was just like, "Mom, you were right about him," but she thought he was cute. And they have the one of my favorites, and I'm skipping my notes a bit, but one of my favorite parts was the fireworks summer arc. Like for a lot of it, both of them are together, and she ends up when she leaves her pen and pad at home, she ends up confessing her feelings on the ground with the stick and just scrapes all of it away before that idiot can see it. Now, but yeah, I knew I was speaking about Yamai before. My issue with I just don't like characters like that. A lot of people compare her to Minata from My Hero or Boku no Hero, however you want to say it. Yes and no. Um, his thing is very much played up for high laughs. I find it hard to laugh at her at all. That's just That's just me. Now, I already told you about Hito. Tadano doesn't want to stand out because when he was in grade school, he confessed to a girl, but he had this personality of like being a poser from something he saw in an anime. And the girl rejected him because she's like, yeah, you're kind of cringy. So from that point on, he doesn't ever want to stand out. The first person who he gets to help with getting Komi more friends is Najima Osana. Now, Najima Osama, when he was in grade school with Tadano, wore male clothing, but Tadano ran down his character, said the type of individual who is gender neutral. You don't really know whom they are. Very sociable. Like the their name is a play on Osana Najimi, which means childhood friend. He is literally the childhood friend of everyone in that school. No lie. Even Komi. He said, yeah, I can't get closer because when she was younger, I tried to talk to her. She didn't say anything. And it takes Tadono to kind of show she just has social anxiety. She she doesn't mean it. She's a very nice girl. And one of the interesting things about this, and I've seen some people complain about Najimi saying, "Oh, they make a joke on gender neutral and gender fluidity." It's a comic relief manga anime, and one of the things that I do like about Najimi takes whatever. Like they call Najimi Chan because he's wearing a skirt, but because Tadono, I feel like Tadono is the closest person to Najimi. It's like, no, this is how I know you. This is how I introduce. This is how I'll talk to you and treat you until you tell me otherwise. Because Najimi doesn't tell Tadono to call him anything else or call them anything else. Netflix, when talking about Najimi, says they. The girls call Najimi she. The boys call him he. Even the boys, when Najimi showed up for the swimming pool episode, like, yeah, Najimi kind of, and it's kind of like that's just how it is. As a matter of fact, Comey saved him from basically being physically assaulted because a former classmate was like, "No, I want you." He's like, "Nah, dude, I'm a dude. No, flat out no." And he was like, "I don't care. You're gonna be mine." And Comey, she can barely get out words, so she'll say the first sound, and sometimes she'll say the second word sound. And it sounded like she said she was gonna murder the guy because she had his house key, but no, he dropped it. She was just trying to give it back, and dude's like, "Yeah, I'm gone." Um, what's another character? Another good character is Naka Omaharu. She is this she is this character that wears an eye patch and talks about the Dragon Force. Literally a person that just lives in fantasy. I can't remember if I ever grew up with a person like that. I went to a private school, but there was some kids like that would Naruto run down the hallway. You ever seen those kids? Or the kids that would try to act too much like somebody from Dragon Ball Z or what was that one? I was a kid. Uh, oh, what was that anime? Ronin Warriors. Mm, those kids made us anime kids look really bad. But I digress. She's a good character. Again, because of Komi's inability to communicate but wanting to be friends with people. Some people come up to her as Tadono is getting her more and more out there with the help of Najimi. Um, they misinterpret her silence sometimes, and it comes out in a good way. She feels that Komi has her back. Komi knows nothing about video games. Naka does, but everything seems to work out on that end. Uh, Himiko Agari. Let's talk about looks in a minute. She is also an anxious girl, but she has a masochist side. She says she can't be Komi's friend, but she'll be her dog, where she walks up and says "woof woof" a lot. And her name apparently is a pun in Japanese for stage fright and cowardice, which she has stage fright. And the crazy thing is, she considers herself chubby or chunky because she's not thin. She has a wider body type, and I guess chubby characters are more busty because she has the largest bust of any character in here. I guess that's how they show it. I don't. I eh. I'm not complaining, but I pay attention to these things now. What makes Komi so beautiful? Well, long straight hair. Remember, this is Japan. Long straight hair, white creamy skin, long legs. I do appreciate that not only do none of the characters look the same, except for her and her family, but they all wear things differently. She wears long stockings. There's one character that wears long socks. Najimi is Najimi. You can tell Najimi apart. Um, More or less, the guys tend to wear the same things, unless you're talking about the ninja guy, the tall guy, the unexpected new character who's the manga research guy. He shows up in the last episodes out of nowhere. There's a lot of background characters. There's a girl that wears night greaves, which is night boots, and uh, another girl that's Komi's rival. She's That was an enjoyable thing to see. That is just a little mini part of another episode. I forget which mission that was. You have this other girl, Nitsuno. She shows up in the sports episode, where she has fire hair, fire pupils, and what else is fiery? Fire hair, fire pupils, and her name basically is means heat. And she speaks in temperature and degree, saying, Komi was cold, but Komi was the last leg of the four-person relay race, and her entire class, class 1-1, cheered her on. That she got up. She's very athletic because there's 5 people in this race, and she speeds past 4 of them. I'm sorry, she speeds past 3 of them. Now she does come in second, but she gets a lot of people's respect just from, I don't know, staying. It's weird. Now, one of the standout characters. This person did not show up yet. One of the standout characters for me is oh my goodness, One Mine Nene. That is her name. I'm gonna call her Omenine though, because that's her last name. Omenine. I like this character because she is not super enthralled with Komi. When she shows up, she becomes the object of Komi's jealousy because she's always with Tadano, who I told you they call her the class god. So Tadano, and no one cares about class president anyway, make him the president. And people start dumping work on him. And she comes in and says, "Well, I'm going to help you," because she overheard the teacher basically admitting that she's going to bully him and make him do all this work. And she is also a character that is observant, but she gets the wrong idea about Komi until he tells her, "No, just talk to her. You'll see that she's fine." And she can see the way that Komi looks at him on the one part when they're supposed to be helping do this work. She's like, "You know what? I got something else to do." And the very next day, she whispers in her ear, "I'm rooting for you too." It's great. And as a matter of fact, episode 11 is where Komi finally speaks out loud for the first time. She says yes. When this other girl, this airhead girl named Kaede, she speaks very slowly. She has the airhead personality. This girl invited Komi to help get supplies for the school festival. And the reason why she asked her, because she said, "You know what? I saw you and Tadano-san and the G-Mate. You guys look like you had fun." And this is back in episode 2 and 3. She says, "I want to be friends with you too." Holy cow. So she's getting friends at a decent rate. It's not like a rush or a mad dash, but there are people who also feel lonely that are coming up to her. Who was another good character? I don't care about any of these other people. I don't know you. I don't know you either. So let's talk about her family. Her father, his name is. Oh, dang, how did I miss her father? No. His last name is Komi, but I think his name is Mayoshi. Name is Mayoshi. Because during the summer arc, there is a tradition in their family that they all go meet Grandmama Komi, and you have to tell her what's going on, and she will give you advice. And one of the greatest things is Komi's dad does not talk. She is silent, her father's silent, her brother's silent. And when she went to go to the library, dad said he'll take her. She wanted shaved ice, so they stop in. And everybody's like, "Oh, he's handsome and she's beautiful. Wait, why aren't they talking to each other? Did they get in a fight?" And he wants to ask her about school, and she's just worried about the shaved ice. This is all in thought bubbles, guys. Love the subtitles. Whoever did subtitle for work for this is great. And he finally asked her out loud how was school, and she tried to say bad, but she was joking. Their relationship, I love this father-daughter relationship so much. It was so adorable. He pats her on the head. You can feel the love they have for one another. Her, it's great. Now he got chewed out apparently by Mama Komi, but we can't really tell because it's always silent. And when Grandma asks her about how she doing in school, did she make any friends? When Komi nods nods yes and having a good time, Grandma's happy. I love that there are these characters in this show that see through this stuff and see what's actually wrong. And the show is very much about social anxiety. It's really, really good. We do get a comedic moment when she's like, "All right, so you got a phone, right? Let me see your phone. Who's this first boy in there?" Mind you, she wanted Tadano to be the first person that she put in her phone. Love it. Um, and she's like, "I don't approve. It's cute. It's funny. It's cute. It's great." Her brother Shosuke, the first time we hear him speak, because Komi does her little freak out as a teenage girl. Everyone in the show, excuse me, everyone in the show I believe is 15. I believe they're 15. She has her freak out because her and Tadono are communicating whatever through text and phone, and he's like, "Oh, Nei-chan, quiet down." All she did was roll, and then Hito, his sister Hitomi, she tells him, "Quiet down." Um, her mother Shuko is basically Komi without the long hair. Um, if Shoko Komi is waifu, her mom is, I don't know what they call Japanese milf. She's everyone instantly loves her as well when they meet her. She's the most outgoing of her entire family. She speaks all the time. She loves the people that are in her class because she's like, yeah, these are some really good kids. Apparently, when they go to karaoke, because she has been, her mom's the only person that sings. Very outgoing, very just, you like seeing good parent characters, even if this is a slice of life comedy, whatever. You like seeing those kind of characters. Um, there's his name. His name's Masayoshi. Yeah, I got that right. Excellent. Um, is there anybody else I'm missing? I don't think any of these other people actually matter. There is one character who she called herself a country bumpkin because she lives out in the far country, but she's following Komi this entire time, and she's trying to learn how to be more of a city person. So she ends up getting another fan. There's another girl that has of her own fan club. Someone wanted the Bodyguard Squad, which had that ninja guy in it. The reason why all this stuff seems crazy is because, and I love narrator San. Narrator San, she tells us Itan High School. Everyone who's gotten in got in based on an interview. Everyone who's in here is very unique and very different. This is a school full of weirdos, and I love it. I love it. That's why having her get friends and people getting close to her is so interesting because it is just definitely funny and definitely crazy. Just like that screenshot I had before this thing went down on me. Such a weird school, but it's wonderful. What else can I say besides the maid one being funny? I like we get a moment in the school festival where Tadono kind of looks at Komi when she's looking at him, and he's like, "Why is my heart pounding like this?" I like that their romance is slowly being brought out. Now, I think they just started dating in the manga, and there's like volume 24. So I don't know how much longer we're gonna have to deal with this. Will they? Won't they? But it's done in such a cute way that I'm okay with it for right now. But the feelings are there and it's so obvious. He thinks he's so unworthy. And I think I know for a fact that the reason why she cares about him is because he's the first person to pay attention to her and just say, "I know what's wrong with you. I know what's going on. And we're going to do this together." And that's a sweet, beautiful thing. Um, One thing that narrator San always says at the beginning, but the thing she said at the last episode is those with high social anxiety have difficulty making friendships and communicating people, but that does not mean that they don't want to. And the one thing that kind of touched me on the last episode was the dedication. It said this is dedicated to, actually, I really want to pull that up. It was dedicated to everyone that found it very hard, and I'm going to pull this up. I got to find this. I want to say this one. Dedicated to everyone who ever felt that tightening in their chest when they tried to communicate. That actually got me. That actually got me really, really good. There's been moments in the show that's been so cute that it kind of makes me go all glossy eyed, but that actually got me because there are people out there who are having a hard time introducing themselves to people, whether it's just friendship, platonic friendship, even if it's romantic or non-romantic, or you just want to be friends with somebody. Everybody needs a friend. Even people who are introverted, you need a friend. You need somebody in your life, and not just family. People who go beyond family. Some of the best family is the ones that you get to pick yourself. Um, y'all saw me get choked up for a minute right there. It's great. Now I purposely haven't gone through a lot of the stuff that goes in these episodes. I also purposely don't do play by play for Netflix animes because of just how weird they come out. They do everything in clumps, and I can't be here for an hour talking to you about this show as much as I could. So hope you all like this format. Komi Can't Communicate. So nice getting something different. It's gonna come back next week. Actually, starts April 7th, but that's for TV Tokyo in Japan. The show episodes will start appearing on Netflix again for season 2, April 27th. And that last little bonus bit where she's doing the end part, she did that at the end of episode 2, and they brought it back. Everyone's behind her. She's in front of a green screen, and she's is saying Suzuku, which means to be continued. But she says out loud, "Let's continue to be friends," and that's her voice actress is actually Kaguya from Kaguya-sama Love is War. I'm mad that I missed my chance to do the season 3 for that, but I will give you guys my thoughts on each different season because that's a show. That is a show. That is a good show. But yes, those are my thoughts on Komi Can't Communicate. I would give this first season. Trying to see if there's any flaw. I mean, me personally, I give it a 5 out of 5. I can see where a person would argue 4 out of 5 because you want more Onemine, but she just showed up towards the end, right? She just showed up like 4 or 5 episodes before we were through. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. I love the pacing for it. I love the format for it. I like being able to watch something that isn't about power levels and power ups all the time. I'm definitely going to incorporate more slice of life anime into the repertoire. But yes, I recommend this for anybody. Very easy to watch. I always recommend watching things subbed. Really good voice acting, really cute. But please, if you have seen that, not JoJo, if you've seen Komi Can't Communicate, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please do not forget to give me a like, subscribe. We're trying to get up to 500 subscribers. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, which will be about right there, so you can get notified of more videos just like this. Share the video so others can see what a good time we're having. As always, thank you for your time. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk. And I will most definitely see you guys next time.